Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope that everyone's having a good morning so far. We're going to give it just about 5 more minutes and then we'll get started. Appreciate everyone joining this morning. We have what we believe and what we hope is going to be some good content for us today, continuing our series on sharpening our social selling skills, just continuing to build on the content that we've been talking about all year. So very much looking forward to it. Going to give it just a couple minutes. Got a couple people still coming in. Definitely want to get started here soon. Be respectful of everyone's time. But again, thanks for joining us this morning. For everyone who's joining for the first time, my name is Lorenzo Johnson. I'm one of our partners here at Socially In, and I help run and lead our social selling division. Socially In is a full service premier social media agency. We have offices around the country in the United States. Then we also have a division that's called social selling, which strictly leverages a product suite and services that only focus on LinkedIn. So we're very excited to bring some of that expertise and be a resource to everyone. I am going to put just a couple quick links in the chat for everyone. We have created a social selling group on both LinkedIn and Facebook that I'm going to pass over to everyone that they could join in. And then we've also created a new resource on YouTube. We now have a YouTube channel, a YouTube page called Social Selling with Socially In. Feel free to check that out, join that. All of our webinars will be housed there for the future. I'm going to put these groups in here, and then we are going to go ahead and get started this morning. Please feel free to throw into the chat where we're going to be joining, where we're streaming from this morning. We'd love to see where everyone's at this morning. And also, please include questions. Please include questions. I will try to make sure that I answer those as soon as we can. We're only going to have about 20-25 minutes of content here. And then we're going to spend the rest of the time getting into a question and answering session. Really want to make sure, again, that today is going to be valuable for us. So I'm just going to find the link for this Facebook group, and then we are going to get started this morning. Again, please feel free to place any questions that we have in the chat as well. Let's go ahead and get started here. From Birmingham. I just moved from Birmingham. I have a few folks from Birmingham. I just moved from Birmingham to Los Angeles. I miss you guys over there. All right, without further ado, let's get into our content this morning. Again, this morning, what we are going to be talking about is continuing our series on sharpening your social selling skills, sharpening your social selling skills. And again, for everyone who is just joining, this is an ongoing series. We host this every single fourth Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Time. And the reason I mention that is because this content changes. In order to appropriately social sell on LinkedIn, there's a number of different things. There's a full strategy that really needs to be taken seriously. I'm sure everyone on this call has been engaged with people who are just reaching out for leads, no context, selling. And so one of the things we're going to talk about today, because we've talked in the past about how to generate leads, how to socially sell without using ads on LinkedIn and things like that. But today we're going to talk about establishing LinkedIn thought leadership, turning your marketing campaign and truly making sure that it's full service, truly making sure that if you are going to be cold outreaching or outreaching to people through LinkedIn, have you earned the right to ask for that business? Have you earned the right to ask for that meeting? And establishing yourself as a thought leader, as a resource for your prospects, that's a great way to do that. So today, that's what we're going to spend some time doing, is making sure that you, your brand, your business is truly establishing themselves in that space. Just checking for questions. Perfect. So let's continue. So the first thing is, why? Why should businesses even consider LinkedIn for thought leadership? Well, the first thing is, it's the only business first social platform. Business first social platform. People understand that people are here to be engaged from a business aspect. And when done properly, people love the engagement that happens on LinkedIn. What rubs people raw or the wrong way is when people are asking for meetings and an engagement without, again, like we like to say, earning that right. So again, first off, it's the only business first social platform. Secondly, it's the only social connection platform that thrives on your personal profile being more about your business and your brand than you. Again, it thrives on your personal profile being more about your business, the value that you provide, than about you on a personal level. The personal level is still important because we do business with human beings and smiling faces. You guys, we're also going to talk about how you can humanize the element of thought leadership among LinkedIn today. And last but not least, LinkedIn is the only one that allows you to build an entire social page out of your business. It's a place where people come to engage socially with your brand. It's an awesome and unique opportunity. So let's dig into a few different things today. Number one, the first focus we're going to talk about today when creating and establishing yourself as that thought leader on LinkedIn is choose who you want to be the face of your brand. Choose who you want to be the face of your brand. So how do you go about doing that? Well, there's a few things that we encourage you to do. Number one, the individual. Are they an expert in their field and within your company? Again, it's not about being an expert in the content that's being created and marketing, but it is about understanding the industry, your brand, your organization's place within that industry, place within that space, before both you and them can be established as a thought leader. So when you're taking a step back and observing all the individuals within your organization, who is an expert in that field? Who is an expert in your company that when your company can help provide them and surround them with the right resources like content and marketing, can really outbound that thought leadership for you all. Number two, who's willing to put themselves out there as the face of the brand? This is important. Not everyone's going to be comfortable being out there on video, being out there on social. So you want to find someone who's comfortable with that. And again, because everyone has experts. We all have experts within our organization, but we also want to make sure that people are comfortable stepping into that space, comfortable creating public content. Because the second thing that's really important about choosing who's going to be the face is that this person now is going to become a personal thought leader in the space. And that's something that you want your employee to be bought into. That's something that you want them to be excited about. That's not something that you want to just force them in. So make sure that that person is very comfortable doing that. And again, are they comfortable being on camera? One of the things that I mentioned earlier today is that we want to talk about how can we humanize our prospecting, our relationship, our nurturing within LinkedIn. Part of the best ways to humanize that, to humanize your brand, is to allow people to connect with a person. Allow people to connect with the person. So are they comfortable? Are they confident on camera? You know, we're going to talk about something here when we talk about what types of content. Again, and I'll just kind of throw out a quick little tip here now. Raw videos connect with people. A lot of times we want to be so perfect. We want to go through and edit out our our brief, awkward moments of silence. But one of the things that we found is that people connect with that element. People connect with that imperfect. We're all humans. No one's perfect. So again, when we're deciding who to be the face of that of our brand, are they going to be comfortable on camera? That's going to be important. Somebody that the people can connect with. A few quick things when choosing that. Again, don't restrict yourself to just one person for this role. Businesses invest in building their personal brands, their employees' personal brands as thought leaders, do very well when they come to attracting new talent as well. So again, give you a quick example for that. Here at Socially, and we have multiple divisions. We have a social selling division. We have an SEO division. We have a full service production studio. That's a great time to not restrict one person to be a thought leader in that space, but now invest in multiple individuals within our organization and their brand so that they can become thought leaders. And again, I love the piece about attracting new talent and retention. One of the things that we've all seen as business owners is that culture is extremely important. In this new environment where individuals and people and employees don't have to stay at a place that they're not happy. Employees are searching for organizations and companies who have great culture. Things like this, showing how we promote our people, we put our employees on public. We want to do that. Those are great ways to attract employees. Additionally, there may not be anyone in your business who fits this criteria, and that's okay. As a smaller business, as a startup, there's sometimes these business development expenses and investments that we just need to make. And if you are in the business to business space, then I would argue that it's probably extremely important for you to be a thought leader. And maybe it's time to consider hiring a staff or an outside company to really help build that up. And again, last key, larger brands, you may have multiple individuals for this role, and that's going to be okay. But again, the first thing when we're trying to identify or trying to create and establish ourselves as this brand leader, as this expert, as this thought leader in the space, choosing someone to be the face of that, choosing a person that your prospects can connect with, that's going to be key to separating yourself and really creating a brand that other individuals feel is worth being called and worth engaging with on a thought leadership space. Just check for any questions. Okay. Number two, creating and establishing ourselves as a thought leader. It's important to optimize your LinkedIn profile to build that way. There is nothing worse than having someone engage with you and tell you that they're a thought leader, and you go to their page and they don't even have any content in their page. There's nothing worse than going to a page and engaging with someone and trying to find resources, and all they're trying to do is sell you. There's nothing worse when trying to do research on a company or a person and not even knowing what they do. So optimize that profile. And we're going to go through a few different things here this morning that are very important, some basics and some advanced features that brands are not taking advantage of enough. Remember, the goal is to demonstrate your authority as part of your brand within the industry. Within the industry. That's what the goal is. When someone visits your profile, there are a few things that should immediately resonate with them. There's a few basics. Number one, what do you do? Number two, who do you help? And number three, the value you provide. Those are things when individuals and your prospects are engaging with your brand, engaging with your personalities underneath your brand. Those should be things that are easily discoverable. Make it easy for people to research. Make it easy for people to engage with you. I'm going to quickly check questions. We got a couple questions that came in. Are you going to share a recording of this presentation to all the participants? Yes, I will. How do you know when to move from engagement to making the ask? Well, Art, that's a great question. And the first thing that I always like to tell people is, again, I'm going to go back to a question I said earlier today, and it's an honest question with yourself of, have you earned the right to ask for this meeting? Have you earned the right to ask for this meeting? Let me give you an example of a time that you have not earned the right to ask for this meeting. Just because I've identified that Art Franklin may be in my prospect and ideal audience, that does not mean I have earned the right to reach out to Art and ask for that meeting. So again, a couple things. Have you been a resource for this person? Have you done research on this person? Do you actually know ways that you can help out this company or this individual or this person? Or are you just guessing and assuming because they fit in a bucket and you're hoping that when they get on a call, you're a great salesperson and you sure you could spin that? These are the things to truly ask ourselves if we're being authentic, if we're being genuine. So, all right, I'm going to keep on going. I want to get back to that again. But those are some things to keep in mind when we're talking about how to know when moving from engagement to making that ask. Oops. A few other basics concerning optimizing that profile. Strong description and headline. It has to have a strong description and headline. Also, this is key. A lot of people don't know this. Your description and headline does have search. So sorry, choking. Your description and your headline does have some searchable aspects to it. That is important. Did you know, for example, if you're hiring, you can place your hiring in your headline and individuals can search and you will come up when people are looking for jobs. These things are important. Do you have featured links in published articles? Again, can I come to your page and see how you've become a thought leader, see how you've expressed your thought leadership? This is something else that I always encourage people. Have a blend of first party as well as third party articles on your page. A blend of first party and third party. Yes, it's great for you and your company always to talk about that space. But one of the things that we've seen that really get people to continue to come back to your page, to really see you as a resource, is again to be an industry resource. Who are the other industry leaders in your space that you can also share resources from? There is also a featured section in your profile, featured. It allows you to actually place and pin content in articles. What's your strategy for doing that? Is that being shifted once a month? Again, consistent, new, unique, relevant. These are all some buzzwords to be thinking of when building out your thought leadership. Consistent activity. There's nothing worse, again, than having somebody reach out to you in your direct messages for LinkedIn, and then you come to their page and they haven't posted anything in a year. There's nothing more salesy than that. Again, activity. And then relevant industry content. Again, I just stressed on that, so we won't spend too much time on that. But again, it's great to talk about how your organization defines certain things and feels about certain things and the philosophy behind how you all execute. But what's the industry saying? What's trending in the industry? What's coming up next? Innovation. These are great things to be thinking, great content ideas to be thinking of as far as industry specific thought leadership building. Now, here's some advanced features. I'm going to encourage everyone on this call to please, as an action item, take some time, if you have not, number one, to download the LinkedIn mobile app. And number two, play around with it. You guys, there are actually some really cool features that LinkedIn allows on the mobile app side that they do not allow on the desktop side. We've included a couple of them. And again, these things also separate yourself. The fact that people don't even know these things exist, you want to talk about being, again, that trendsetter, that thought leader. These are the things that separate you from them. So did you know that on the mobile app, there's actually a name pronunciation feature? You can show people how to pronounce your name. But here's what's cooler. It can also be used to send a 10-second video intro. How cool is that? Not just a message that says, hey, connection. I saw your profile and it was great to connect because we're both in the same industry. What about a personalized video? How much is that going to separate you? Again, LinkedIn has a creator mode on the mobile app. It can be used to create a 20-second cover story that actually plays when people hover over your profile. Now imagine how powerful your description and your headline is when not only is it written and it's optimized, but you can also tell this story when people can connect with your voice, with your face. Again, building up that thought leadership, building up that brand. These are really cool advanced features that people are not taking advantage of enough. A few other things. On the mobile app, there is actually an increased character count for headline descriptions. Again, people don't know that. Take advantage of that. So yes, if you open up your mobile app, you can build a longer description than you can on a desktop. That's not always appropriate, but for some people, that's really good to know. And last but not least, and I put this in all caps and I should have emphasized it a little bit more because again, this is something that we do not see enough brands do and take advantage of. If you and your organization and your employees are social selling on LinkedIn, it is imperative to have a LinkedIn company page. I can't tell you how many clients come to us. They want us to do lead gen or all these things, and they don't have a company page. They think they're a thought leader. I say, perfect. Where can we drive people back to content on your LinkedIn page? Oh, we don't even have a LinkedIn company page. How are you a thought leader in the space? And then there's a second caveat to that. Making sure your employees are connected. Making sure your employees are connected. I want to spend just a couple seconds talking about that. Because imagine this, imagine if you had 30 employees who 2 to 3 times a week are speaking about their expertise in their space. They're leveraging, pointing all of their individual networks back to your company website, back to your company page. Your company page is promoting individuals. You have individuals doing webinars and you're making sure you're highlighting and driving traffic. Imagine the network that can be built up, the resource center that can be built up when you have 5, 10, 15 people speaking the same language, promoting the same brand. Imagine how much that increases your thought leadership, your sphere of influence in your circle. Again, another immediate action item. Number one, if you do not have a LinkedIn company page and you plan on nurturing, engaging, and selling on LinkedIn, it needs to be a must happen after this call. And if number two, if you have employees, make sure your employees are connected. Make sure your employees are connected. Number three, because we always want this to be actionable. We always try to do a balance on these calls of some nice conceptual, theoretical things, but also really takeaways that are intentional and that can be done as soon as you get off this call. So we wanted to wrap up with 3 algorithm-friendly content ideas to build up this thought leadership. LinkedIn, like other social media platforms, is an algorithm. It is a system that you can learn, you can figure out how to take advantage of. And there's a couple things here that we strongly encourage you all to do. By just understanding how the algorithm works and taking advantage of these, some of the things that you guys are already doing can go so much further. I want you all to keep in mind as we're talking through this, the goal is to develop a well thought out content strategy, that's humanized. Like we've been talking today, there's a human element, but also provides relevant, thought-provoking opportunities to engage with your brand. So there's 3 different content ideas we want to talk about today that have really helped increase your network, your connectivity, being that thought leader. The first one is polls, Polls. LinkedIn has the ability now where you can create polls in your content. There's 4 different tactics that we encourage you all to take advantage of. And again, a well thought out strategy is going to use a blend of these strategy executions or tactics, for lack of a better word, apologies. The first one is create a poll to discuss a personal insight or perspective. A personal insight or perspective. You know, we're in the world of social media. Something happens with Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, all these things going on. It's a great opportunity to discuss your opinion on it, but also ask, hey, industry friends, how do you feel about that? Hey, industry friends, I know how I feel, When I wake up to my inbox and I have 50 people trying to sell me on LinkedIn and nobody really knows what I do, what's your perspective on that? Again, curating information from an audience. This is an awesome, awesome strategy for your marketing team. Is your marketing team trying to figure out what content that your prospects want to engage with? Create a poll. Create a poll. We actually leverage polls to create content for our webinars, you guys. I don't just come to this and say, you know what? I bet everybody wants to talk about thought leadership. No, we say, hey guys, what's important to you all? Is it thought leadership? Is it generating leads? Is it nurturing? Is it using ads? What's important for you all? And that's how we literally craft the content that we present to you on a monthly basis. It's a great opportunity to get feedback so that you know you're giving valuable information, not because you think it's value, not because Lorenzo or Socially M thinks it's valuable, but because your prospects think it's valuable. Create engagement and network opportunities. Awesome opportunity to create engagement opportunities with other people. That's another thing. As you start to build up your network, one of the great ways to leverage the algorithm is have your audience engage with each other. Just as it's important for them to engage with you, creating opportunities for your audience to engage with each other is imperative. Last idea for polls, audience filter or leads generation. Again, research, generating leads, allowing people to tell you, this is how I would love for you to engage with me. This is how I would love for your brand to interact with me. And if you do that, now we can have a conversation about moving forward. So again, the first algorithm-friendly content idea this morning is leveraging polls, leveraging polls. Number 2, carousels. LinkedIn has a really cool feature called carousels, but today we're going to talk about how using that a little bit different than it's quote unquote told to be used as. And here's what we mean by that. Traditionally, carousels are image carousels. Traditionally, we think of carousels, we think of the Instagram post that has the nice 5-6 pictures from our beautiful weekend that we had. Here's the cool thing about LinkedIn. Like we talked about in the beginning, the great thing about LinkedIn is that it's a business-first platform. So its carousel capabilities actually include the ability to upload PDFs and documents, you guys. That's what we encourage you to use that carousel for. Upload PDFs and documents, presentations. Use that as a document sharing tool rather than an image sharing tool. We encourage you to leverage it like an ebook. Like an ebook. That way images can be embedded. One thing we do want, there is a caveat to that, and we wanted to definitely make sure that we highlighted this today. We don't encourage you to post your full PDF, as you cannot do live links, because again, it is still created with the idea of uploading images, even though it can be used for something else. So because of that, live links are not included. So we don't recommend posting the full PDF. But this is where we also encourage you to be creative in the captions. Give me 1 second, please. So sorry. Sincerest apologies for that. So leveraging the carousel feature within LinkedIn, leveraging the carousel feature within LinkedIn. Again, you can upload PDFs and documents and treat it like a document sharing tool. Even if you need your marketing team or you to recreate your PowerPoint. So again, it does not have live links in it. It cannot have live links in it. So again, we encourage you to recreate that with more of an image embedding type of strategy. So again, it will take maybe a restructuring of your content. However, as we've been talking about today, it's a great way to quickly engage with people, allow them to scroll through, see relevant content. And again, we're talking about building yourself up as a thought leader. One of the things I hope you guys have taken away from today is that to truly do that, there are multiple elements of using LinkedIn in order to truly make sure you're building yourself as a thought leader. It's not about using just one of these. It's about strategically using all of the different things we've talked about today. As we're starting to wrap up, the last one is video. Video. As we all know, video is really king. And that does not, or that's no different on LinkedIn. How can you leverage videos? Did you all know that LinkedIn, you can do stories now, just like you can on Facebook and Instagram? Yes. It is a mobile app feature. Again, a lot of these things you can only do in a mobile app. Again, I encourage you all as a takeaway, download that app and begin to play around. But you can create stories just like you can on LinkedIn or on Facebook. I mentioned this earlier, and I want to mention this again. Don't underestimate the power of an authentic, raw video. Humanize your outreach, humanize your thought leadership. Video, there's a few things that we want to just point out about why it's important. Number one, video allows you to connect with your audience personally as well as efficiently. What you can communicate in 15 to 30 seconds of video is powerful. It also allows people to engage with you on their own time. That's important. On their time. Time frame recommendations. We typically recommend 30 seconds to 3 minutes. 30 seconds to 3 minutes. Now, this is a strategy that we strongly encourage you to use. Create short clips from longer productions. Be strategic. We've talked strategic all morning today. If you're making a 3-minute video, take the time to plan out that video, because with that 3 minutes worth of video, if done properly, you can have 3 to 6 short videos that can be cut, edited, and now distributed to appropriate audiences, all from that 3 minutes right there. So creating shorter clips from longer productions is awesome. Include subtitles and captions, you guys. Include subtitles and captions. That's key. Number one, it's important because, again, not everyone will have the ability to hear our videos. It's important to consider all audiences. Number two, allowing people to engage wherever they are at. I find myself, as of late, recently, not necessarily listening to videos, but a lot of times just watching the videos. Listen at the closed caption. Don't miss an opportunity to engage with someone because you don't have subtitles and closed captions on it. And last but not least, relevant industry content. Relevant industry content. Those are great things for video. So whether it's a webinar like we're doing today that we record, that we can chop up, whether it's you speaking about a trend, speaking about an innovation. Again, don't underestimate the power of authentic, raw video. And again, video is a third awesome algorithm-friendly content ideas to build thought leadership. Last couple things. Tag people in these content ideas. Tag your audience. Tag your team. Have your team comment. Have your team share. The way the algorithm works, engagement begets more engagement. The great thing about it is LinkedIn isn't always too picky about where that engagement is coming from. So leverage your team, leverage your internal staff, leverage your current network. Again, these are all great tips and tactics as far as building our thought leadership with LinkedIn. Again, my name is Lorenzo Johnson. I'm one of our partners and our social selling lead here. I am going to look into the chat to see if we have questions. I'm also going to allow anyone who has questions that we can answer here live. Going to check the chat. Please feel free to put any questions that we have in the chat. And again, like I said, my name is Lorenzo. Would love for if you have any questions about how this can be applied. If you'd like to set up a strategy session, again, please just email me at lorenzo@sociallyand.com, or you can text or call. I am going to now go through and just check to see if we have any additional questions this morning. Okay. Well, we do not have any questions. Yes, I will be sending this presentation along. Please, if everyone who would like to see this presentation and get an email, please put your email in the chat. Please put your email in the chat. I know we have everyone from registering, but I also want to make sure that we do not skip anyone. Again, thank you for the positive feedback. I'm seeing people saying great presentation. Thank you all. We really appreciate you joining. Like I said, if you would like a recording of this presentation, please send your or put your email in the chat and I will make sure you get this. Again, thank you everyone for their time this morning. I hope everyone has an awesome Tuesday. Look forward to hearing from everyone. I hope everyone has a great day.